The chamber was cold and silent, but the silence was heavier than chains. The human, Daniel, stood in the middle of a wide circle of glowing stone. Strange symbols burned under his feet, pulsing like a heartbeat. Alien guards in black armor lined the walls, their eyes shining like knives in the dark. He had no idea how he got here. One moment he was walking through the ruins of an alien city, searching for water and food. The next moment he was dragged before the Council of the Arakai, one of the oldest alien races in the galaxy. Now, they were staring at him like hunters staring at prey. At the far end of the chamber, a tall alien leader rose from a throne made of crystal. His voice was sharp, cutting through the silence. "Human," he said, "you stand at the heart of our judgment. Today, you will decide who lives and who dies." Daniel's breath caught in his chest. He thought he misheard, but then two figures stepped into the circle, their faces lit by the glowing floor. Two alien sisters. They looked alike in shape, but their eyes told two different stories. The first sister had calm, gentle eyes. Her hair shimmered like silver, and her steps were soft, almost careful. She bowed her head slightly, as if she carried the weight of many people's hopes. The second sister's eyes burned like fire. She walked with pride, every step striking the floor with force. Her armor gleamed red, and her smile was sharp. Too sharp, like a blade hidden in silk. The leader raised a hand. His words rolled like thunder. "Choose one, human. One sister shall live. The other shall be put to death before dawn." Daniel's mouth went dry. He wanted to protest, to shout that this was not his choice, not his world, not his trial, but the weight of 1,000 eyes pressed down on him. Every alien in the chamber was watching him. They were not just curious, they were waiting. The gentle Esther raised her head and whispered, her voice trembling but kind. "Please, do not trust what you see." Daniel's heart skipped a beat. What did she mean? The fiery sister laughed softly, tilting her head toward him. "Don't let her fool you, human. She hides weakness behind soft words. I am strength. Choose me, and you choose survival." Daniel's mind spun. Why him? Why was a stranger forced to make a choice that would end a life? He remembered Earth, his family, the moments when he had been powerless. Was this another cruel trick of fate? The leader's voice broke his thoughts. "You hesitate. Do not. Your hesitation kills more than your choice. Decide." Daniel looked from one sister to the other. The gentle one's eyes shone with something he could not name. Hope, maybe trust. The fiery one's gaze cut through him like fire, promising both power and danger. He tried to speak, but no words came. Then the chamber shifted, the glowing floor brightened, and suddenly Daniel saw visions rising from the stone. He saw the gentle sister standing with children, guiding them, protecting them. Then just as quickly, he saw her standing with a blade, leading soldiers into battle. He saw the fiery sister crushing enemies with fire and steel. But in the next vision, he saw her lifting a wounded soldier, carrying him to safety. Both sisters were not what they seemed. Both carried light and shadow. Daniel's head throbbed. The voices of the aliens around the chamber rose in chants. "Choose, choose, choose." The gentle sister whispered again, but now her words reached only him. "Human, the truth is hidden. You must see beyond the mask." The fiery sister leaned closer, her smile dangerous. "Do not be blind. The weak cannot lead. Choose me, and I will show you the future." Daniel's hands shook. He felt trapped in a storm, pulled in two directions. He thought of Earth again. Had if his choice affected not just these sisters, but his own people too? What if this was more than just a trial? The leader's voice thundered once more. "The sun will rise soon. Your words will seal their fate. Speak, human. Which sister shall live?" The air grew heavy, almost crushing. Daniel's heart pounded in his ears. Every alien guard raised their weapon, ready to strike down whichever sister he did not choose. He opened his mouth, but before he could speak, the gentle sister's eyes widened in fear. She whispered fast, urgent, as if she had no time left. "Daniel, it is not us they want to judge. It is you." The chamber froze. Her words echoed in his mind like a blade cutting through the fog. Not them. Him. Daniel's throat tightened. Was this entire trial not about the sisters, but about him, a lone human trapped in a galaxy of lies? The fiery sister's smile grew wider, almost victorious. The leader raised his hand one last time. "Choose now, or both die." Daniel's chest burned. His choice would decide life and death. His voice shook, but he forced himself to speak. And then, the chamber was swallowed by darkness. For a moment, Daniel thought he had gone blind. The glowing floor, the chanting voices, the alien leader's throne, all gone. Only silence. His heart pounded in his chest. He reached out blindly, but his hands touched nothing, only cold air. Then, a whisper. Daniel. It was the gentle sister's voice, soft, near his ear. But when he spun around, no one was there. Another whisper followed, sharper, like fire cutting through smoke. Daniel. The fiery sister's voice this time, confident and mocking. His breath caught. They were both speaking to him, but he could not see them. Was this part of the trial, or was he trapped in something worse? Suddenly, the ground beneath him lit again, but not the chamber. He was standing in a vast desert under two suns. Strange towers of stone reached into the sky, a battlefield. The smell of smoke and blood filled his nose. Daniel stumbled back, confused. Was this real, or an illusion? Cyan. From the dunes ahead, two figures appeared, the sisters. The gentle one wore simple clothes, carrying a child in her arms. Her silver hair blew in the wind as she shielded the child from falling ash. The fiery one wore red armor, sword in hand, leading soldiers who roared behind her. Her eyes burned as she raised the weapon to the sky. The vision twisted. The desert melted into a shining city. Its crystal towers gleamed, its streets full of cheering aliens. Again, both sisters stood before him, but their roles had shifted. The gentle one now wore a crown, standing on a balcony, the people below bowing to her. Her calm eyes seemed filled with hope. The fiery one stood in the shadows of the palace, whispering to generals, plotting. Daniel's chest tightened. The visions were showing him two possible futures, but which one was true? He shouted into the strange air, "Stop this! I don't understand!" The world froze. The sky cracked like glass, and then everything shattered. He was back in the chamber, kneeling on the glowing floor. Sweat dripped down his face, his whole body shook. The leader still sat on the throne, but his sharp smile told Daniel everything. This had all been a test. "Do you see now, human?" the leader's voice thundered. "You see what lies beneath their masks?" Daniel's throat was dry. He wanted to ask what was real and what was a trick, but he stayed silent. The gentle sister stepped forward, her chains rattling. Her voice was steady now. "These are not visions. They are traps. They want you to doubt both of us until you no longer see truth." The fiery sister laughed, the sound sharp as a blade. "Lies! He saw what matters. He saw power in me, weakness in you." The leader leaned forward. "Yes, power or weakness, strength or mercy. That is the choice, human. You will guide our people with your voice. One must die. Decide, Daniel." As mind spun, why him? Why not their own people? He finally spoke, his voice trembling but firm. "Why me? I'm not part of your world. I'm just human." The leader's smile widened. "That is why. You have no ties to our kind. You are fair, no bias. That makes you the perfect judge." A chill ran through Daniel's body. They didn't want justice. They wanted someone to carry the guilt for them. The gentle sister looked at him, her eyes pleading. "Do not play their game. There is more here, hidden beneath their trial. Listen carefully." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" But before she could answer, guards slammed their weapons on the ground. The sound echoed like thunder. The leader rose from his throne. "You have seen enough. Tomorrow at dawn you will give your answer before the council. One sister will live, the other will be erased." The chamber doors opened and Daniel was dragged away by two armored guards. As they pulled him through the halls of black stone, whispers filled his ears. Not from the guards, no, from the walls themselves, humming like voices trapped in stone. One whisper sounded like the gentle sister, "Trust what lies beyond sight." Another sounded like the fiery one, "Choose strength, only strength survives." Daniel's head ached, his hands clenched. He didn't know what was real anymore. They threw him into a small cell, the door slamming shut with a metallic hiss. The room was dark except for a faint glow from cracks in the wall. He leaned against the cold stone, his breath heavy. Then, footsteps. Daniel shot up. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward, hooded, cloaked. Not a guard. The stranger whispered, "Human, you must know the truth before dawn." Daniel's heart pounded. "Who are you?" The hood fell back. It was neither sister. It was an alien rebel, eyes glowing with fire of their own. "The council lied," the rebel hissed. "The trial is not about them. It is about you. Your choice will not only kill one sister, it will decide who rules the Arakai and what fate awaits your Earth." Daniel froze, his blood running cold. Earth, His home, the sisters' lives were not the only weight on his shoulders. His decision could shape the future of his entire world, and dawn was only hours away. Daniel could not sleep. The rebels' words echoed in his mind like a drumbeat. Your choice will decide who rules the Arakai, and what fate awaits your earth. He sat in the darkness of the cell, his back against the cold wall. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the sisters, the gentle one whispering warnings, the fiery one promising power. Both seemed real, both seemed false. The door to the cell groaned open. 2 guards stepped inside, their armor glowing faintly. The test, one of them said in a voice that felt like gravel. It begins now. Before Daniel could ask, they dragged him into the hall. The black stone walls rose around him like the inside of a tomb. The path twisted, sloping down until they reached a giant gate carved with strange, shifting symbols. The guards pushed him through. Inside was a vast chamber, larger than a stadium but empty except for strange mirrors standing in circles. Each mirror glowed with a faint light, like they held something alive within them. The leader's voice boomed from above, though Daniel could not see him. Human, before you choose who lives, you must prove your loyalty. Enter the Hall of Reflection. Inside you will see the truth of yourself and of the sisters. Walk carefully, for one path leads to salvation, the other to ruin. The gate slammed shut behind him. He was alone. Daniel walked forward slowly. The mirrors pulsed with light. When he looked into the first, he gasped. It was himself, but not as he was now. In the reflection, he was dressed in alien armor, standing proudly at the side of the fiery sister. She wore a crown, her eyes filled with victory. Together, they looked like conquerors. Daniel tore his eyes away, shivering. He turned to the next mirror. This time, he saw himself with the gentle sister. She stood among children, smiling softly, while Daniel carried tools, helping build homes of crystal. Peace surrounded them. Daniel staggered back. These aren't real, he muttered. But deep down, a small voice whispered, or are they? He walked deeper into the maze of mirrors. Each one showed a different version of his choice. Some showed Earth burning, alien ships in the skies. Others showed Earth thriving, humans and Arakai working side by side. But the strangest mirrors were the ones that showed only him, alone, broken, drowning in regret. The air grew colder, the mirrors hummed louder. Daniel's heart pounded. Then a voice. Daniel. He spun around. The gentle sister stood behind him, her silver hair glowing faintly in the dim light. Listen to me, she said softly. This place twists truth and lies together. Do not trust the fire. Trust what lies beyond the surface. He stared at her. Are you real, or just another trick? She stepped closer, her eyes steady. Does it matter? What matters is what you choose to believe. Before he could answer, another laugh rang out. The fiery sister appeared at the far end of the chamber, her red armor shining. Do not waste time, human. She fills your head with weakness. Look into the mirrors. You saw the truth. Me by your side, power in your hands. Choose me, and no enemy will touch your world again. Daniel felt trapped between them. The gentle sister's voice was calm, like water. The fiery one's voice burned, like fire. Both were convincing. Both wanted him. The mirrors around them flickered, shifting faster. One showed Daniel bowing before the fiery sister, her army spreading across the galaxy. Another showed him standing beside the gentle sister, holding out his hand to an alien child. Daniel's mind screamed. Which path was real? Which was a lie? Suddenly the ground shook. The mirrors shattered, exploding into shards of glowing glass. The sisters vanished. Daniel fell to his knees, shielding his face. When he looked up again, he was alone once more. Then, from the ceiling above, the leader's voice thundered. You have seen. You have been tested. Tell us, human, where does your loyalty lie? Daniel stood, his hands trembling. I don't know. The leader's laugh echoed through the chamber. Then you will know soon. At dawn, the choice must be spoken. The floor beneath him cracked open. Daniel fell, dropping into darkness. When he landed, he was in another room, smaller, quieter, chains rattled. He looked up. The gentle sister was there, bound to the wall, her wrists chained. She looked weak, her silver hair falling over her face. Her voice was faint. Daniel, they will kill me unless you choose me. But listen, if you save me, you save more than me. You save the truth of our people. Daniel's chest tightened. He stepped closer, but before he could reach her, another door opened on the opposite wall. The fiery sister walked in freely, no chains, no guards. She smiled, her red eyes gleaming. "Daniel," she said, her tone sweet as poison. "Do not let pity blind you. If you choose me, I will give you everything. Not just survival, victory. Earth will kneel to no one. You will be remembered forever." Daniel froze between them, one sister in chains, begging softly, the other free, promising power. The test of loyalty had only just begun. Daniel could not move. His legs felt like stone. On one side stood the gentle sister, bound in chains, her silver hair dim under the flickering light. On the other side stood the fiery sister, free, smiling as if she already owned him. The room was small, but the weight inside it was endless. The gentle one whispered, "Daniel, please, don't believe her lies." The fiery one laughed, stepping closer, her boots striking the stone floor. "Lies? You call truth a lie? Look at her, weak, helpless. How can she leave Isha? At anyone, choose her and your earth will burn. Choose me and I will protect it with fire and steel." Daniel's chest ached, his throat felt dry, both voices pulled him in opposite directions. He opened his mouth, but before he could answer, the walls around him shook. A low rumble echoed through the chamber. The torches flickered, then died. Darkness swallowed everything. Daniel's heart pounded. He stumbled, reaching for the walls. "What's happening?" No answer. Then chains rattled, loud and violent. "Daniel!" The gentle sister's voice cried out in the dark. "They're taking me!" A scream cut her words short, then silence. The lights returned. The fiery sister stood alone in the room. Her chains were gone. The gentle one vanished. Daniel spun around, panic rising. "Where is she? What did you do?" The fiery sister smiled, calm, almost smug. "I did nothing. You did. You hesitated. And in this world, hesitation kills." Daniel's stomach twisted. He wanted to shout at her, to tear down the walls and find the silver-haired sister. But deep down, a terrible thought crept in. Had his silence sealed her fate? The fiery sister stepped closer, her voice smooth. "Do not waste tears. She was a shadow. I am the fire. With me, you will never lose again." Daniel backed away, shaking his head. "No, this isn't right. She warned me. She said not to trust what I see." The fiery one's smile sharpened. "And what do you see now, human? You see me, only me. The rest is gone." Before Daniel could answer, the chamber doors creaked open. Guards in black armor marched in, their weapons glowing. "The trial continues," one announced. "The vanishing has begun." They seized Daniel by the arms and dragged him out. The fiery sister walked behind them, her smile never fading. They led him through winding halls, deeper into the palace's heart. At last, they reached a high balcony. Below stretched a vast arena filled with Arakai citizens, thousands of them chanting, their voices a storm. At the center of the arena, torches burned around a stone platform. Daniel's blood ran cold. The gentle sister was there, alive but chained to the platform. Her head hung low, her hair covering her face. The fiery one leaned toward him, whispering so only he could hear. "Do you see? She is weak. She could not even escape their grasp. But I walk free." Daniel's heart pounded, relief that the gentle sister was alive mixed with dread. This was no trial, it was theater. The entire city wanted blood. The leader appeared on a throne high above the arena, his voice booming like thunder. "Behold, the human judge has witnessed truth. One sister has already begun to fade. Tomorrow at dawn, his choice will bind the fate of all." The crowd roared. Daniel clenched his fists. He could feel their eyes on him. Thousands of aliens hungry to see him decide, hungry to see him carry their guilt. The fiery sister raised her hands and the crowd cheered louder. She looked powerful, unstoppable, as if the people already saw her as their ruler. The gentle sister lifted her head weakly, her eyes finding Daniel's. Even chained, even broken, there was no fear in them, only trust. Her lips moved. He couldn't hear her words, but he understood. "Do not give up." Daniel's throat tightened. The leader's voice thundered again. "At dawn, the human speaks his choice. Until then, he will walk the path of memory. If he survives, his decision will stand. If he fails, both sisters die." Gasps echoed through the arena. The crowd hushed. The guards dragged Daniel away once more, down into a tunnel beneath the arena. The fiery sister followed, her red eyes gleaming. As they descended, she leaned close. Do not waste your heart on her. She will vanish before your eyes, just as she did before. Choose me, Daniel. Choose strength, or lose everything. Daniel turned his head, staring into the shadows of the tunnel. His mind was a storm. The gentle one was alive, but for how long? The fiery one promised victory, but at what cost? And now, a new trial awaited him. The path of memory. He did not know what it was, but he knew one thing. Whatever it showed him could break him, or reveal the truth. And dawn was only hours away. The tunnel was endless. Daniel's footsteps echoed against the stone, but the guards dragging him forward made no sound. Their armored hands gripped his arms like iron. The fiery sister walked behind them, her eyes glowing red in the dim light. At last, the tunnel opened into a chamber Daniel had never seen before. It was old, much older than the palace above. Strange carvings covered the walls, symbols that glowed faintly as if alive. The guards shoved Daniel inside and locked the heavy door. The fiery sister did not follow. She gave him a last smile before the door closed, a smile that promised both danger and certainty. Daniel was alone, or so he thought. From the shadows, a figure stepped out, hooded, cloaked, eyes shining with fire of their own. Daniel froze. You again? It was the same rebel who had appeared in his cell. The stranger lowered the hood. Their face was scarred, their jaw set hard. Yes, human, I told you before. This trial is not what it seems. Now you must hear the rest. Daniel's fists clenched. Why me? Why am I the one forced to choose between them? The rebel's voice was low, sharp. Because the council is cowardly. They want power without blame. If you choose, the guilt falls on you, not them. And your choice will crown the next ruler. Daniel's chest tightened. So if I choose the fiery one, she will take the throne, the rebel finished, and the galaxy will burn. She hungers for war. Her armies will march, and Earth will not escape. Daniel swallowed hard. And if I choose the gentle one? The rebel's eyes softened for a moment. Then there is hope. But hope is fragile. Many will resist her. You will not just save her, you will make enemies who will hunt you until the end. Daniel sank against the wall, running a hand through his hair. Oh, the choices were chains. Both would bind him forever. The rebel stepped closer. But there is more. Something the council does not want you to know. Daniel looked up sharply. What? The rebel leaned in, whispering like a blade slicing air. The sisters are not enemies. They are halves of one. Long ago, their mother split her power between them, light and fire, mercy and strength. Alone, each is incomplete. Together, they are whole. Daniel's heart raced. Then why force me to choose? The rebel's face darkened. Because the council fears them united. If both survive, they could overthrow the old rulers. So they created this trial, forcing an outsider to kill one so their hands stay clean. Daniel's blood ran cold. He remembered the gentle sister's words. Don't trust what you see. She had been right all along. The rebel gripped his shoulder. Listen to me. The council will never let you choose both. At dawn, they will force your hand. But there is a way. Daniel's voice shook. What way? The rebel's eyes burned. Free them both. Break the trial. If you do, the Arakai will rise against their masters. It will be chaos. But it may be the only way to save your Earth. Daniel's mind was a storm. Free both? Defy the council? Could he even survive that? Before he could answer, the door slammed open. Guards stormed in, their weapons glowing. The rebel melted back into the shadows, vanishing like smoke. One guard growled, Time for the path of memory. They seized Daniel again and dragged him into a new corridor. This one was lined with glowing stone, the air heavy with whispers. At the end, a gate opened into a circular chamber. Inside, a pool of black liquid shimmered, its surface glowing faintly. The leader's voice echoed from above. Enter, human, drink, and walk the path of memory. Only then will your loyalty be clear. The guards forced Daniel to his nin. East before the pool, he stared at his reflection, tired eyes, trembling hands, fear twisting inside him. He thought of the rebels' words, free them both. He thought of the gentle sister's warning, the fiery sister's promises, the council's hunger for blame. He dipped his hands into the pool. The liquid was cold as ice. When it touched his lips, the world shattered. He was standing on Earth, his old home. The sky was dark, filled with alien ships. Cities burned, people screamed. The fiery sister stood above it all, wearing her crown, her armies marching. At her side, him, Daniel. wearing alien armor, sword in hand. He turned away, horrified. The vision shifted. Now the gentle sister stood in a field of green. Children laughed around her. Humans and aliens worked side by side, planting crops, building homes. Daniel stood beside her too, older, carrying tools, smiling. Then the vision twisted again. Both sisters stood side by side, united. Behind them, the council's throne lay in ruins. Aliens and humans alike bowed before them. But in that vision, Daniel was not smiling. He was kneeling, broken, carrying scars. The visions vanished. Daniel collapsed to his knees, gasping. The leader's voice thundered, "Your loyalty is seen. At dawn, you will speak your choice." The guards dragged him out of the chamber. His body shook, his heart was torn. The rebel's voice still echoed in his head, "Free them both." But how could he defy the council with all eyes on him? And dawn was already near. The night before dawn was the longest of Daniel's life. The guards had locked him in a small stone room, no windows, only a single torch burning low. He sat on the floor, his back against the wall, staring at the flames. His body was tired, but his mind would not rest. Every word echoed inside his skull. The gentle sister's warning, "Don't trust what you see." The fiery sister's promise, "Choose me and I will save your world." The rebel's whisper, "Free them both or the galaxy will fall." Daniel pressed his hands against his face. He had been a wanderer, a survivor, never anyone important. And now he was about to decide who lived, who ruled, and maybe who conquered Earth. He wanted to scream. The heavy door creaked open. 2 guards entered, pulling him to his feet. "It is time," one growled. They dragged him through the winding halls of the palace. This time, Daniel did not resist. His legs moved on their own, heavy as chains. At last, they reached the arena. The dawn sky glowed red, light spilling across the stone. Thousands of Arakai filled the seats, their voices rumbling like thunder. The air trembled with chants. "Choose, choose, choose." At the center of the arena stood the stone platform. The gentle sister was chained to one pillar, her silver hair tangled, her face pale but calm. The fiery sister stood unbound beside her, red armor gleaming in the new light. The leader rose from his throne high above, his voice booming across the arena. "Human, the path of memory has shown your heart. Now speak. One sister shall live, the other shall be erased. Choose and end this trial." The crowd roared. Weapons clashed against shields. Daniel's chest tightened. His throat burned. He stepped onto the platform, every eye following him. The gentle sister lifted her head. "Daniel, whatever happens, remember what is true. Do not let fear blind you." The fiery sister smirked. "Enough words. You saw the visions. You know the weak cannot lead. Choose me, Daniel. Choose strength. Choose survival." Daniel's hands shook. He remembered the visions, the gentle one bringing peace, the fiery one ruling through fire, both together breaking the council. He whispered to himself, "How can I choose? How can I kill hope or kill strength?" The leader thundered again, impatient. "Speak now, or both die." The arena fell silent. The only sound was Daniel's heartbeat pounding in his ears. He looked at the gentle sister. Her eyes held no fear, only quiet trust. She believed in him, even now, even while chains dug into her wrists. He turned to the fiery sister. Her eyes burned with hunger. She believed too, but not in him. She believed in her own power, in using him as her shield. Daniel's voice cracked. I can't choose." The leader's face darkened. He raised his hand. "Then both shall—" "Wait!" Daniel shouted, his voice echoing across the arena. The crowd hushed. Even the guards froze. Daniel stepped forward, his voice trembling but growing louder with each word. "You call this justice, but it is a lie. This trial is not about them, it is about me. You want me to carry your guilt, you want my voice to kill, so your hands stay clean." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The leader snarled, "Silence, human! Speak the name, or watch them both die." Daniel's fists clenched. He remembered the rebels' words, "Free them both." His voice grew stronger. "No, I will not choose between them. They are 2 halves of one. If you kill one, you break your future. If you force me to speak, then I choose this." He pointed at the council. "I choose to defy you." The arena erupted into chaos. Half the crowd screamed in rage, the other half cheered in shock. Guards surged toward the platform. The fiery sister's eyes widened. For the first time, her smile faltered. "Daniel, you fool! You'll doom us all!" The gentle sister's chains rattled as she cried out, "Daniel, run!" But Daniel did not run. He stood tall, shaking but unbroken, his choice blazing like fire in the dawn. The leader rose to his feet, his voice a roar. "Then you have chosen rebellion. Guards, kill the human, kill them both!" The crowd screamed louder. The guards closed in, weapons raised. But then, something shifted. From the shadows of the arena, cloaked figures appeared, dozens, then hundreds. The rebels. The scarred rebel Daniel had met raised a blade and shouted, "Now! The council falls today!" The rebels clashed with the guards, steel against steel, fire against fire. Chaos consumed too. Arena. Daniel rushed to the gentle sister, tearing at her chains. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. "You broke their game." The fiery sister grabbed a fallen guard's sword, cutting down enemies with deadly grace. She looked at Daniel with fury and something else, something like respect. The leader shouted above the chaos, "Stop them! Stop them all!" But his voice no longer carried the same power. The people in the crowd were no longer chanting for blood. Many were shouting for freedom. Daniel's chest burned with fear and hope. The choice was no longer his alone. The sisters were free, the council was shaking, and dawn had broken. The arena was fire and thunder. Blades clashed, sparks flew, and the chants of thousands turned into a storm of confusion. Some screamed for blood, others for freedom. Smoke from burning torches mixed with dust, choking the air. Daniel stood on the platform, heart pounding, hands raw from tearing at the gentle sister's chains. At last, the final link snapped. She stumbled free, her wrists bleeding, but her silver eyes steady. "Daniel," she whispered, breathless, "you did it. You broke their trial." Before he could answer, the fiery sister cut down another guard, her red armor smeared with blood. She leapt onto the platform, her sword dripping, her eyes burning. "You are either the bravest fool I've ever seen," she hissed, "or the smartest." Daniel backed away, torn between both sisters. "We can't fight each other. Not now. Look around." The rebels surged across the arena, battling the council's forces. The scarred rebel who had warned Daniel raised his blade high. "The old rulers fall tonight." The leader of the council rose from his throne, his voice like thunder. "No, you will not destroy us. Guards, crush them." But the guards hesitated. For the first time, fear flickered in their glowing eyes. The people in the stands shouted louder, many throwing stones at the council instead of cheering for them. The balance was shifting. The fiery sister turned to Daniel, her voice sharp. "This is your chance. Name me as ruler and I'll burn the council to ash. Together we'll crush the rebels too, before they become another threat." The gentle sister shook her head. "No, if you crown her, the fire never ends. Listen to me, Daniel. Help me stop the fighting, not add to it. The council is weak. The people want peace. Choose me and we can rebuild." Daniel's mind spun. He had broken the trial, but the weight of the choice had only grown heavier. The fiery one promised power and safety through strength. The gentle one promised peace, but peace that might shatter if enemies rose again. The rebel's voice echoed in his memory. "Free them both." His chest tightened. Maybe that was the truth. Maybe the sisters together were the only way forward. The leader roared from above, his crystal throne cracking beneath him. "Do not listen to the human. He is a poison. Kill him. Kill them all." The platform shook as blasts of energy struck from the council's guards. Daniel ducked, pulling the gentle sister down with him. The fiery one stood tall, deflecting strikes with her blade, her eyes wild with fury. Daniel shouted over the chaos, "Stop, both of you, listen to me." For one moment, unbelievably, they did. He stood between them, trembling, his voice shaking but strong enough to carry. "I can't choose between you because you were never meant to be apart. You are two halves of the same soul, strength and mercy, fire and light. Alone, you are broken. Together, you are whole." The gentle sister's eyes widened, her lips parting in surprise. The fiery one's smile faded, replaced by something deeper, a shadow of doubt. Daniel turned toward the crowd, shouting loud enough for all to hear. "Your council lied to you. They made me choose so their own hands would stay clean. But the truth is this, you don't need one sister, you need both." The arena went silent. Thousands of eyes turned to the sisters, to the human who had defied their rulers. The leader bellowed, desperate, "Lies! He spreads weakness! Guards, end him now!" The guards charged, but the crowd rose with a roar. Rocks and weapons rained down on the council's soldiers. Rebels surged forward, their numbers swelling as more citizens joined them. The gentle sister raised her voice clear as a bell. "People of the Arakai, you are free of their lies. Stand with us." The fiery sister hesitated, then lifted her sword high. "And stand strong. No one will ever rule you in chains again." The crowd exploded with cheers. The battle raged until the council's throne cracked and fell. The leader tried to flee, but the rebels dragged him down. His voice of thunder was silenced forever. At dawn's full light, the arena was no longer a place of trial. It was a place of rebirth. Daniel stood between the sisters, his body bruised, his clothes torn, but his heart steady. He had not chosen one. He had chosen both. The gentle sister placed her hand on his shoulder. Without you, we would be nothing but pawns in their game. You gave us back to each other. The fiery sister smirked, though softer than before. Don't think I like sharing, but maybe you're right. Maybe together, we are more. Daniel managed a weak smile. Then prove it. To your people, to the galaxy. The sisters stepped forward side by side. One silver, one red, two halves of one whole. The crowd bowed, not to one ruler, but to both. That night, when the fires had burned low and the rebels celebrated victory, Daniel sat alone, staring at the alien stars. He had come as a wanderer, dragged into a trial he never wanted. Now he had changed the fate of a people, and maybe the fate of Earth. The gentle sister sat beside him, her eyes calm. You gave us hope. The fiery one sat on his other side, her eyes fierce. And you gave us fire. Daniel looked at them both, the weight of what lay ahead heavy on his shoulders. The trial was over, but the real journey had just begun.